What's going on? What's going on, my co-creators? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hope you're co-creating the life that you want, the life that you deserve, the life that you always planned on, the life that you've been looking forward to, and all that good stuff. Anyway, man, um, another great day, another great productive day. I'm just so grateful just to have the type of people in my life that contribute to the great things that's happening. And it seems like every time I think that I'm running up against the wall, something else happens that's positive. And I'm just very grateful for that. You know, what I'm trying to do here right now by releasing all these videos, I'm attempting to help people think more of themselves and to help people stop thinking of themselves as just another number that I don't count. I'm just this and I'm just that and I will always be this and I will always be that. I don't believe in that. I believe that we all have potential to do amazing things. I believe that we all have potential to achieve things that we never thought was possible and to change the fabric of our family tree. I believe that we all have that capability. And I made a promise to myself that I'll spend the rest of my life trying to help people find their path to their higher self, to their best self. And I don't know what that looks like, folks. I don't know what your best self looks like. Shoot, I barely know what mine looks like. So I just want you to separate yourself from your circumstances and rise to that higher level. That's what I care about. That's what makes me happy. That's what butters my bread. So that's why I do these videos, because I want us as a whole, humanity, to think more of ourselves and think bigger of ourselves and stop letting this society that we live in determine how big and how powerful and how intelligent, how incredible, how expansive that we are. We can do anything. There's no rules in this thing. There's really no rules in this thing. And we've been taught to live in a certain way and have certain rules and stuff, but there's really no rules. We can do pretty much whatever we want to do. Everything has benefits and consequences, which is the same thing. And we have to see what we're willing to sacrifice or willing to put over to the side momentarily while we focus on what we love to do. And that's a big deal, folks. And we are co-creating this thing. Whatever we think about, whatever we believe is coming, whatever we accept as normal, that's what we get. And I always say this to people, that anything that's going on in this world that's wicked and that we don't agree with, it's not going to be a surprise. They're going to tell you. The people that like to manipulate, they're going to tell you exactly what it is that they're going to do. That's the only way it works. They have to tell you. You have to agree to it and say, okay, that sounds like a good idea. That's how it works, folks. That's why I've been so adamant lately about us following rules that don't make sense, because the more we say, okay, I guess that makes sense, even though I don't really know, I guess, that's the more things that they will pile up on us. And it's a balance you got to strike, you know? You got to figure out what's an over exaggeration and what is valid. And that can be very difficult, especially if you've been living in this world and you've been totally encompassed by this world and you haven't really been keeping in touch with your higher self. It's hard to determine what's real and what's not. One way you can figure out what's real and what's not is through love. And I know that sounds simple, cliche, kind of silly, but love is the only thing in this world that hasn't been compromised and won't be compromised. Now, you can't mix up love with fear, Because fear can feel like love sometimes, because you think about saving or protecting people that you love. And that's really fear. So we got to be careful that we don't make decisions based on our fear, on our mortality, or the mortality of the people that we care about, or even the mortality of strangers. That's not love. That's acting in fear. And you have to be very careful to discern which is which. And it can be hard, especially if you are not tapping into your higher self, if you are not meditating, you're not fasting, eating the right foods, and kind of separating yourself from this world. It's hard to tell the difference between love and fearing of hurting or losing someone you love. It's very difficult to tell. And so once you figure that out, then you can make the right decisions and you can follow the right instructions, and you won't be just being dragged along in the rat race with all of the silliness that's being pushed up on us right now in this world. And what I really want to talk about, I got some major intros on my videos. I need to start separating these videos, but I really want to talk about is anxiety. I mentioned it before in a video that I did, that I suffer with major anxiety, panic attacks back in probably 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. I really was in the midst of it, and it was a lot. It was heavy, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know how to manage it. I didn't have anybody around me that understood what was happening. And now, I'm over it. I mean, I still have my moments, overall, but I'm over it. I don't get panic attacks, and there'll be no emergency room visits for me. I've been there and done all that. But around that time, what we had, 9/11, we had the singer Aaliyah's death, we had me stepping out on my own and dealing in serious relationships and feelings and not feeling adequate and trying to navigate on being a man. I had a bunch of different stressors that was pressing down on me at the time, and I hadn't even discovered who I was, but yet I was still dealing with all this other big things going on in the world. And it didn't matter how much I prayed. It didn't work. I was a shell of a man. I kept a brave face though. I mean, I maintained relationships. I still hung out with my friends. I did a lot of stuff. I mean, there was times I would hang out with my friends. I didn't want to leave, and I would be the last one leaving, because I knew when I left, I would feel that feeling, that anxious feeling, and I was so terrified about it. I would hang around, and sometimes I probably would act out a little bit, and nobody really knew. I didn't really understand at the time why I was acting out about certain things, and it was such a long time ago for me. I kind of forget how terrifying it was. And when I hear people, having panic attacks and having anxiety attacks, I kind of like, oh, you'll be all right. I kind of blow it off because I know where I am now. And so I guess I wanted to make a video just to kind of highlight some of the things that I used to deal with on a regular basis, or not really highlight that, but highlight some of the solutions that I use to rid myself of those vicious attacks that I was dealing with. And so I did write some stuff down just in case I forgot. But one of the first things I did was I educated myself. I went to the bookstore. First time I went to the bookstore for self-help. I didn't even know what self-help was. You got to imagine it's 2002, 2003. I went in there and I was trying to find some help, because I wasn't trying to be on medications. I wasn't finding anybody that could talk to me and tell me anything that was relating to how I was feeling. So I said, okay, I brought my anxious, nervous self to the bookstore, and man, when you feeling like that, you don't know what's going on. Every time, just reading a subject matter will make you anxious. Just talking about it will make you anxious. Just thinking about it definitely will make you anxious. So it's almost like I had to rush in there in between when I was feeling brave enough to go in there and find some material. And I found a couple of books and I purchased them and I started educating myself. I started learning about what it was and why I was feeling this way. And I even added some of my own little reasons why I may be feeling this way. And so education, learning about it, don't run from it. I always tell y'all, y'all running from this current little virus they got going on that's not deadly. Less than 1% of people dying. Y'all running from it. And it's making you crazy. You're willing to walk around looking like a crazy person, avoiding people and treating people like they are disease riddled. And some of us are going to be abusing our kids soon, sending them to a school that's going to be enforcing this stuff, all because of something that's less than 1% of people that get it that die. It's nonsense, folks. It's very, very nonsensical. Why are we even going along with this stuff? And it will continue to progress as long as we go along with it. But education is something that I used to help calm my fears. And that's something that we should be using right now, in the midst of all this craziness going on. Is find real information. Stop looking at the news. The news is sensationalizes things. I don't know if you noticed, but just a month or so ago, it was all about the deaths. Oh, so many deaths, all these deaths, people dying, which that's questionable, the accurate numbers on that. And now, since nobody's dying, you don't hear about deaths anymore. They're not even talking about it. All they're talking about is cases. Oh, there's so many cases are rising. You're not catching on to this. You're not catching on to the propaganda. Come on, man. It's a news show. They want to keep you watching. And there's more nefarious reasons why they want to keep you watching, why they want to keep in this terrified state. But just knowing that level is a news story, and think about the fact that they changed the narrative overnight to now it's all about cases, but ain't nobody dying. So why are we even doing anything? Why are we talking about this? So anyway, education is a big deal, folks. You educate yourself and you get information about things that'll make you less stressed out about stuff, and you'll be less anxious if you get educated. And another thing that I realized is that I like I said before, I'm a people watcher and I watch myself. I paid attention. I was like, damn, when I start having a panic attack and when I'm feeling stressed out, it feels like how I feel when I'm running. My heart beating fast, short of breath, I'm sweating. That's how I feel when I'm doing cardio. Like if I've ever been running around tired, that's how I felt. All of the same symptoms, physical symptoms that I would feel from anxiety, I would feel that running. Well, they had a couple I wouldn't feel. Like when you're having a really bad panic attack, you'll feel like your limbs getting a little tingly. That's a survival mechanism that your body does to kind of pull your blood and all of your energy towards your organs, and so that causes you to kind of lose a little bit of sensitivity in your arms. And also when you're going into that panic mode, that fight or flight mode, you don't want to be able to feel everything in your arms because you're probably fighting for your life. So it kind of helps you not feel pain too. So it's all psychological, folks. You'll be surprised on how your body reacts to stuff that's way over the top than what we really need to be reacting at this time and day. So I realized that, hey, this is how I feel, minus the numb arms, but I feel a little lightheaded. My blood pressure's up. I'm sweating. I'm breathing hard. My heart's beating fast. I feel all those same things when I'm running. And so I was like, damn, I need to go on and start doing some cardio. That's how I got into cardio, folks. That's how I started running and jogging and stuff, because I was like, okay, maybe if I get used to feeling like this on a regular basis, if I get used to the trauma of anxiety, I can probably operate better. And so I got into cardio. I started running. I used to go to the gym in the middle of the night at my apartment complex, and I'd just be on that treadmill and I would jog till I couldn't anymore. And that feeling I had, it helped equalize me. And I would run myself ragged until I would be so exhausted that I would have to go to sleep. And that's another thing, folks. Like when you're dealing with anxiousness and panic attacks and stuff, you gotta understand that you only have a certain amount of mental capacity to deal with something so big. And so if you're feeling stressed out about something, if you put a lot of physical distraction on your body, I mean, that's honestly, that's where drugs and stuff come in at. You know, physical and psychologically, people, there is like your brain can't be in two places at one time like that. You only can focus on one thing at a time consciously. And so if you find something to do that is distracting, like if you go take a cold shower or something, that's traumatizing to your body. You can't feel anxious after that. Your body can only deal with so much. I mean, cold showers are kind of hard, but if you just go and work out and sweat and kind of burn your body out, your body can't be anxious and go into panic mode while it's trying to like keep up a certain physical pace. You can't do two things at one time. See, you got to think about this stuff logically. You can't get all, spiritual and energetic and emotional about it sometimes. If you want to shut it down, you got to think logically, like, okay, what physically can my body deal with? If I need to go and do something to distract myself, physical is the quickest way to do it. That's why you see people doing drugs and you see people cutting themselves and doing all kind of weird stuff. It's just to pull you away from the things that's bothering you, or from the anxiety that might be building up. It's a distraction, but there's healthier ways to do it, and cardio is one of them. Cardio is one of them. And drinking a lot of water too. That's a heavy one to deal with, because you'll be up all night after that. But drinking I used to drink a gallon of water. I just forced it down, and that would totally, like, I wouldn't be anxious anymore. I'd just be like bloated and be like, oh God, what have I done? You got to understand that your physical body can only focus on one thing at a time. And if you're having a major effect of a panic attack, you can distract yourself by doing a few things, and not something that's detrimental, but definitely cardio, walking, treadmill, stuff like that. That'll definitely pull you away from that anxious feeling, folks. You can't help it. And also, like, finding like some busy work. Like, I would find myself cleaning out a closet, vacuuming my car out, doing something that was like tedious, that took up all of my brain space, where I couldn't think of anything to make me anxious. Distract yourself with something. That's another really good thing to do. It's another thing I used to do was I didn't do this as often as I wanted to, but go take a ride in your car if you feel safe enough to do that. And especially if it's like late at night or something, and just go in there and just scream to the top of your lungs. Just scream to the top of your lungs. I'm talking about blood curdling scream, like, scream, keep screaming until you damn near lose your voice. That anxious feeling will subside if you do that. It's another distraction. And plus, there's some energy that you need to release. I told you before on a previous talk that a lot of time anxiousness comes from you just not fulfilling your inner thoughts. You're not actually living up to what you feel like you need to be doing. And sometimes you just got to expel that energy. You got to get it out. So, cardio and screaming to the top of your lungs, that helps out a lot, folks. You'll be surprised. You're not crazy. I mean, we're a vessel, and things come in and we got to let it out. You know what I'm saying? Gotta get this stuff out of here. And let me see. Oh, this is a good one too, but you gotta be careful that you don't go too far and let people take advantage of you. But put yourself in service of others. Like, find a way to volunteer. Find a way to go dedicate your time to somebody else and to something. And what it does is it distracts you. And at the same time, it reminds you on a more emotional, mental level that, damn, my life ain't that bad. These people having it worse than me. You know what I'm saying? Find a charity. They got people going through some really tough stuff. Some homeless people, some people that's going through abusive, relationships, and they hiding out in the shelter. There's all type of things going on that's way worse than your situation. Find out how to contribute to that. Just empty yourself out to somebody. Don't let nobody take advantage of you, because this can go wrong. You can be trying to help somebody, and you can want to give yourself to someone, and you can give it to the wrong person or the wrong people, and they can take clean advantage of you. So be careful of that. But it's really good to put yourself in service of others, folks. That's a really big deal. I mean, you see it all the time at the church and stuff. You see people going through a lot. They probably need to get some counseling too, but they'll pour themselves into their church, which is cool, needed. But at the same time, they probably need some help too. And sometimes in different situations, they might get taken advantage of. But that's them dealing with their own personal anxieties and stuff like that. And also professional help, therapy. It really helps to talk to somebody and feel vulnerable with somebody and open up. That really goes a long way, folks. Don't underestimate that. And if you can't afford to go and get it somewhere, with a so-called certified professional, even if if you attend a church, there's people in the church that can actually talk to you, and just try it and see where it takes you. It might lead you somewhere or to someone that can really help you, or they may be able to help you. So just be willing to talk to people. Um, uh, Oh, another one that's a big deal is what I learned with dealing with anxiety years ago is that what makes it feel even worse, what makes it feel worse is when you don't express it to people. When you try to keep it bottled all in, that's what makes it feel like you're going to explode and like you're going to pass out, like you're going to just kill over. So you have to be open and honest. You have to understand that everybody is going through something. Everybody has issues. Everybody's dealing with some type of mental stress, some worse than others. And just because you're kind of off the handle with your anxiousness and your panic attacks doesn't mean that you're crazy. It doesn't mean that somebody's going to look at you like something's wrong. And I'm not saying you should be running around telling every single person in your life, your business, not saying that. But find a few people. I mean, if you're feeling uncomfortable somewhere, just say, oh, I'm feeling anxious. Like, because of my anxiety, I'm not a great plane flyer. I don't like being in confined places. I like to be in control of where I'm going and what I'm doing. And I noticed that when I do fly, it's always better when I actually, if I have the opportunity, just to talk to people, open up and say, oh man, I'm not a good flyer. I get anxious. I get nervous. I don't like it at all. So if you see me a little agitated, don't think none of it. I'm just, I get a little anxious. Just open up to people. If you try to hold it in and fight it, that's going to make you feel like you're about to explode and pass out, and it's going to make you crazy. So be open-minded, talk to people, and share your story. But don't turn into that guy or that gal that's always got problems and always, hypochondriac, and always got something going on. Don't turn into that person. But if you're dealing with people in confined places like on an airplane, you might want to be friendly and just say, hey, ugh, I don't like this and I get anxious, and it'll let a whole lot of that stress go away. You know what I'm saying? So that's the things. That's some of the things that I could think of right off the bat. I'm pretty sure there's plenty more things that I've done over the years. When you're dealing with anxiety, you got to really be introspective. You got to really pay attention to what sets you off. There's certain situations that will set you off, and you got to really find out why. And try not to tie it to the situation. Try not to tie it to the people, because a lot of times we're tied. Oh, whenever I'm around you, whenever I'm around this people, I get anxious. And nah, it's something deeper going on inside, and you don't want to be lazy and quick at tying it to a person or to a thing. Go deeper and see, why does that bother you? There's always a deeper meaning to stuff, folks. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what I got. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm not any of that. But I didn't go to too much therapy about it. I kind of did self-therapy and I helped myself out, And honestly, the cardio aspect, that really changed my life. I love doing cardio now. I mean, I hate it while I'm doing it, but I love the results. I love how I feel afterwards. And so by me finding something healthy to do to quell my anxiety, it really helped me out and propelled me a long way. And I'm glad that I have these stories, because it's crazy, because I wasn't really a book reader. I wasn't a self-help guy. And by me having that severe anxiety and I guess a little bit of depression too, and the panic attacks and all that, it caused me to start looking in and start learning more about myself, and it led me to where I am now, here shooting videos every day. Trust me, if I didn't have that issue, I would have never got here. Or maybe, life works in mysterious ways. Maybe I would have found myself here in a different way. But I became a therapist myself, and so it brought me into a certain place. And so you just, sometimes we upset about who we are and our disadvantages or circumstances or our natural things that we're just not good at, that we struggle with. But those things actually are there to help us get to where we need to be and be the person that we need to be. All right, go out today, 30 minutes cardio, get that blood flowing, like I've been saying. Get that heart rate up, get those toxins out of you, get those deep breaths in, get all those foreign activities going on inside your body so your body can figure it out and you can be stronger, your immune system can grow. Don't be hiding from stuff. We got to get it and move on. Sweat it out, sweat out those toxins. That's a beautiful thing to do, folks. Get your vibration up. You're gonna feel so satisfied. So you're gonna feel like you accomplished something. And when you're working out and you feeling like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you just feel better about yourself. You just feel a little more everything. You feel a little more sexy. You just feel a little more better about yourself. Your confidence goes up. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you get that physical activity going. You might not be where you want to go physically, but just get that going. Meditation, very important, folks. Meditation, meditate. Think about your higher self, your part that's not physical, where you came from, where you're going, and that you'll always be around and you'll never stop. My screen names on a few of my places online is I Won't Ever Stop. I made that a long time ago. And I just knew, okay, I won't ever stop. I'm going to keep on reaching and pushing and expanding and growing and building and loving and pushing and just blowing up. I won't ever stop. That's the way the human spirit goes. We never stop. We go on and on and on. Turn off the news, turn off the news, turn off the news, turn off that dirty, funky, stinking news. It ain't got nothing good on that for you, folks. Trust me. That'll bring you anxiousness looking at that crap. Trust me. I remember when 9/11 happened. Trust me. Messed me up. And leave your cell phone at home sometime. I love you, my co-creators. I know we're going long on this one, about 27 minutes, but hey, y'all got time. Y'all ain't working like y'all used to. So check it out. Anyway, I love you and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.